Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Манай нэвтрүүлгүүд олон хэлээр гардаг. Зочлох хаяг suprememastertv.com/schedule.
I created man from invisible spiritual and from visible physical nature. Of both are his death and life and image. He knows speech like some created thing, small in greatness and again great in smallness, and I placed him on earth. Please continue watching for captivating ancient accounts from the Book of the Secrets of Enoch.
Shalom, noble viewers. Shalom means hello in Hebrew. I'm Aharon. The welcoming people of Israel send you love and cheerful energy in God's light. Welcome to the Foundation of Creation from the Book of the Secrets of Enoch, Vegetarian, Part 2 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. The Book of the Secrets of Enoch, also known as the Second Book of Enoch or Old Bulgarian Enoch, is an ancient religious text which describes the intensity of the antediluvian or pre-flood time period. The book includes more than 20 Old Bulgarian language manuscripts and fragments from the 14th to the 18th centuries. Scholars believe that these Old Bulgarian text versions were translated from the original Greek. Enoch was a venerated patriarch and great-grandfather of Noah. After his son Methuselah was born, Enoch began to walk with God. That is, he began to seek, to know, to serve, and to pray to God. And he continued this for the next 300 years. Throughout his life, he visited heaven in his visions and dreams. At the age of 365, Enoch disappeared because God took him away, straight to heaven, for he was pleasing to God. The Book of Enoch contains unique material on why the great flood was morally necessary, why some angels fell from heaven, and prophetic revelations of the 1,000-year reign of the Messiah. But the main message is one of hope, that God will be the guiding light for those who are righteous. We now continue with the amazing record from chapters 26 to 30 in the Book of the Secrets of Enoch, depicting the story of creation as told by God to Enoch, in which the world's foundation takes its dual nature, known to us to this day. Chapter 26. And I summoned the very lowest a second time, and said, Let Arcus come forth hard. And he came forth hard from the invisible spiritual. And Arcus came forth hard, heavy, and very red. And I said, Be opened, Arcus, and let there be born from you. And he came undone. An age came forth, very great and very dark, bearing the creation of all lower things. And I saw that it was good, and said to him, Go thence down below, and make yourself firm, and be a foundation for the lower things. And it happened, and he went down and fixed himself, and became the foundation for the lower things, and below the darkness there is nothing else. Chapter 27. And I commanded that there should be taken from light and darkness, and I said, Be thick, and it became thus.
And I spread it out with the light, and it became water. And I spread it out over the darkness, below the light, and then I made firm the waters. That is to say, the bottomless.
And I made foundation of light around the water, and created 7 circles from inside, and imaged the water like crystal, wet and dry, that is to say, like glass, and the waters and the other elements. And I showed each one of them its road, and the 7 stars, each one of them in its heaven, that they go thus. And I saw that it was good. And I separated between light and between darkness, that is to say, in the midst of the water, hither and thither. And I said to the light that it should be the day, and to the darkness that it should be the night. And there was evening, and there was morning the first day. Chapter 28. And then I made firm the heavenly circle, and made that the lower water, which is under heaven, collect itself together into one whole, and that the chaos become dry, and it became so. Out of the waves I created rock, hard and big, and from the rock I piled up the dry, and the dry I called earth, and the midst of the earth I called abyss, that is to say, the bottomless. I collected the sea in one place, and bound it together with a yoke. And I said to the sea, Behold, I give you your eternal limits, and you shall not break loose from your component parts. Thus I made fast the firmament. This day I called me the first created Sunday. Chapter 29. And for all the heavenly troops I imaged the image and essence of fire, and my eye looked at the very hard, firm rock, and from the gleam of my eye the lightning received its wonderful nature, which is both fire in water and water in fire. And one does not put out the other, nor does the one dry up the other. Therefore the lightning is brighter than the sun, softer than water, and firmer than hard rock. And from the rock I cut off a great fire, and from the fire I created the orders of the incorporeal 10 troops of angels, and their weapons are fiery, and their raiment a burning flame. And I commanded that each one should stand in his order. And one from out the order of angels, having turned away with the order that was under him, conceived an impossible thought, to place his throne higher than the clouds above the earth, that he might become equal in rank to my power. And I threw him out from the height with his angels, and he was flying in the air continuously above the bottomless. Chapter 30. Tuesday. On the 3rd day, I commanded the earth to make grow great and fruitful trees and hills, and seed to sow. And I planted paradise, and enclosed it, and placed as armed guardians flaming angels. And thus I created renewal. Then came evening, and came morning the 4th day. Wednesday. On the 4th day, I commanded that there should be great lights on the heavenly circles. On the first uppermost circle, I placed the stars, Chrono, and on the second, Aphrodite. On the 3rd, Eris. On the 5th, Zeus. On the 6th, Aramis. On the 7th, Lesser the moon, and adorned it with the lesser stars. And on the lower, I placed the sun for the illumination of day, and the moon and stars for the illumination of night. The sun that it should go according to each constellation, 12. And I appointed the succession of the months, and their names and lives, their thunderings, and their hour markings, how they should succeed. Then evening came, and morning came the 5th day. Thursday. On the 5th day I commanded the sea that it should bring forth fishes and feathered birds of many varieties, and all animals creeping over the earth, going forth over the earth on 4 legs, and soaring in the air, male gender and female, and every soul breathing the spirit of life. And there came evening, and there came morning, the 6th day. Friday. On the 6th day, I commanded my wisdom to create man from 7 consistencies. 1. His flesh from the earth. 2. His blood from the dew. 3. His eyes from the sun. 4. His bones from stone. 5. His intelligence from the swiftness of the angels and from cloud.
6. His veins and his hair from the grass of the earth.
7. His soul from my breath and from the wind. And I gave him 7 natures, to the flesh hearing, the eyes for sight, to the soul smell, the veins for touch, the blood for taste, the bones for endurance, to the intelligence sweetness, enjoyment. I conceived a cunning saying to say, I created man from invisible, spiritual, and from visible, physical nature. Of both are his death and life and image. He knows speech like some created thing, small in greatness, and again great in smallness. And I placed him on earth, a second angel, honorable, great, and glorious. And I appointed him as ruler to rule on earth and to have my wisdom. And there was none like him of earth, of all my existing creatures. And I appointed him a name from the 4 component parts, from east, from west, from south, from north. And I appointed for him 4 special stars. And I called his name Adam, and showed him the 2 ways, the light and the darkness. And I told him, this is good and that bad, that I should learn whether he has love towards me or hatred, that it be clear, which in his race love me. For I have seen his nature, but he has not seen his own nature. Therefore, through not seeing, he will sin worse. And I said, after sin, what is there but death? And I put sleep into him, and he fell asleep. And I took from him a rib, and created him a wife. And I took his last word, and called her name Mother, that is to say, Eve.
Blessed viewers, it was a pleasure to be in your presence for today's Words of Wisdom, entitled The Foundation of Creation, from the Book of the Secrets of Enoch.
Vegetarian, Part 2 of 2. Coming up next is Holy Songs, Russian Orthodox Chants, right after Noteworthy News. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for more constructive programming. May the love and mercy of God calm and uplift your souls always.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.